Yeah, when I first read it, a lot of the stuff, like I got some of like the basic examples, like I worked out how like wah worked. But then when it started
Yeah.
to get to, like some of the more complex examples, I'm like, I I'm sure the resources here are good, but it's just not clicking with me for some reason.
Hmm. Like different grammar points and stuff like
Mm,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't like it just doesn't click in the sense that that's normal.
Mm,
In the sense that like it's so hard to completely understand something that isn't, entirely logical and
sure.
that requires, so much experience in the language. Like I feel like it's just something that people might worry too much over. Like
Mm,
even when you get better advanced, there can be some level of vagueness in, for example, the difference between the va and ga particle. And
mm.
that's fine in the sense that there is some specific nuance to it, but it's hard to approach it entirely logically. In some languages, grammar definitely works more like that, in the sense that, for example, conjugations in Estonian and comma rules in Estonian,
Mhm.
but Japanese doesn't really have those, like the comma stuff and uh, rules like that, like really strict rules. So it's definitely hard to approach it in the sense that you need to perfect the grammar before you can move on, because you kind of can't, is what
Mm,
I
mm.
feel. Like you have to accept some level of like vagueness, essentially.
I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I think that might have been what I was my issue early on. I wanted to make sure I like fully got it, and then
Yeah.
I think because I was just bashing my head against the wall so much, I just got bored with going through that method. But hmm, yeah, no, I do agree there. I think with this having some sort of, I think I'd also probably do fairly well if I did classes as well, because there's sort of I guess a plan to go forward. Like if I'm left with
Yeah.
just the resources that are just out there, I tend to just hyper focus on a part until I fully get it. And yeah, it seems like that might not be the most effective way to go about it.
Yeah, like classes actually might have benefits like that, in the sense that you have a test, you learn that you learn those concepts in for the test, in the sense that you either pass or you don't. You pass or you don't, essentially. But if you don't have a grade, for example, if you use Duolingo, you don't
Mm-hmm.
really know if you pass or don't. It's
Mm-hmm.
more like, do I feel confident that I
Mm-hmm.
completely understand this or not? But it's difficult to feel that confidence sometimes with this language. So with classes, there is the, progression is more like streamlined,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. Also, I also logged into Duolingo for the first time in like years, and it's completely different, like the tree. And I suppose that's how far I currently have the tree unlocked.
So what that would I can't.
I guess it's section 3, unit 28.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm not sure how like translated it is, or like migrated it is from the
Mm-hmm.
old tree to this one, but I guess I can scroll quite a lot before like I reach the point where it's like uh, still locked, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think maybe this is just my gamer brain. Just having a leaderboard there also just makes me just keep going as well. Like
Yeah,
they'll
that's kind of fun.
like people talk about like you'll see people criticize the idea of gamifying everything, but for me at least, like I will get to like 30 minutes before the like the reset of the leaderboard, and there will be someone
Yeah.
who is just creeping up to the experience I've got. I'm like, no, you are not taking my place. I just do like a couple of extra lessons that I otherwise wouldn't have done that day. And yeah, in that way, I think it works pretty well for me. It might not be the system that works for everyone, but I don't know, at least for me, and doing extra things outside of what like is just required. Like if you're just, mindlessly filling in what it says, maybe you won't get as much out of it. But if you're trying to actually use it as a resource and learn from it, I think then, at least, as I said, at least for me, it's felt like a positive learning experience.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it can be fun. Like, it's definitely less like, it's something that you can build a habit with, because it's like, even if it has like these small things that aren't necessarily a part of the language learning, paradigm, like the gamified approach and stuff like that. And even though they're not necessary, it's still like, whatever works, essentially, is how I view it.